All right. Well, good evening and welcome to TTR Cares. That is To the Rescue Cares, and we are an extension of TTR Networking. Previously, we were doing monthly discussions. We've changed that to more of a quarterly process now, but TTR Cares is back, and we're happy to be back with you. So we cover topics that affect us as people, as a community. We have open and honest, safe and non-judgmental discourse. We share ideas, beliefs, feelings, and we come here to be our authentic selves. So through interaction and questions and participation, all of that helps. We record this so that we can share it with others for those who aren't able to be a part of the actual discussion tonight, so that they can still hear and be touched and learn and have their horizons widened a bit with the information that we share. So we hope that you come away with a broader mindset, ideas for improvement for yourself or recommendations for others, and all positive thoughts. In the past, we have covered topics like culture and elder care, spring cleaning for your home health and mindset, COVID impacts, racial injustice, just a whole bunch of interesting topics that we've learned from, that we might have had personal experience about, and just had an opportunity to talk and share. So let's see. I'm gonna see if I can share my screen, and tonight's topic for TTR Cares is cultivating your inner economist. And let's go on to the next. So tonight we're going to talk about, what is economy? What does it mean to you? We're going to talk about some money saving ideas, both big and small. We'll talk about dealing with financial crisis, the realization, consideration, innovation, and communication, how all of those are very important. And as I mentioned before, hopefully we come away with positive, meaningful ideas for follow-up. And I always love to share some nonprofit news or community outreach information that might be very useful and either for yourselves or for you to share with others, because we are always thinking about others as well. We don't exist in this world all by ourselves. So as we move on, I found this little clip that I wanted to share. Come on, inner peace. I don't have all day. A lot of folks are like this. They want the good feeling. They want peacefulness, but at the same time, as humans, we've got a lot going on all at once. And it's hard sometimes to focus and concentrate on what's good for us or what's relaxing and comfortable, because there's always chaos going on in the background. So I thought that this was pretty cute, and I wanted to share. We'll go back from this, and I'll just start off. I want to ask, what comes to mind when we talk about economy or being an economist? What comes to mind? What do you think of?
Living under your means.
Ooh, I like that. Under. That's good. I like that.
What about you, Nicole?
Managing your money, giving, I think, like for your family, for nonprofits, people who need managing in the economy, supporting local businesses.
Cool. Yeah. I think a lot of things come to mind in general for people when they think about economy or what an economist is. Some of the things that I found as I was looking on the internet was wealth and resource, of a community or a region, in terms of production and consumption, goods and services, use and growth, um, careful management of available resources, um, the best value for your money. You know, people think if I buy that economy size, that large size, it's more affordable per unit and it'll last me longer. So that's good economic sense. Um, Careful use, careful financial saving. And for me, as a travel agent, economy means the cheapest class of travel, whether that's on an
Right.
airplane or train or bus. You know, you get the economy ticket. Inexpensive, affordable. So I asked that question to kind of clarify. Everybody's got a very broad mindset of what economy and economists, what that is. Um, and I want to encourage everybody, you know, we're all consumers, and certainly we should all be economists to a degree. You know, we need to be aware of our finances, of our use of goods and services within our households, or as we're out and about doing our business. Um, you know, economics is the study of scarcity. So, how can we best prepare for tight times or challenging times when the things that we want and need may not be available? It's also the study of how people use their resources. And we all know that can change over time. You know, what the brands and products or services that we use today might completely change in the future because of technology and developments and our financial capacity to purchase them, or the availability in the marketplace, etc. So all of those things come into context when we're talking about economy. But the reason why I encourage everybody to be mindful and forward thinking, of course, is so that, you know, individuals as part of a household, as business owners, managers, etc., it helps us be prepared. Um, it it helps us to better position ourselves to influence others in a positive manner or to help when needed. Um, when we are faced with challenges, it helps us to be ready to stand ground, to fight rather than flight or fear. Um, it helps us to get more of what we want out of life when we're prepared, when we're knowledgeable, when we're mindful of financial planning and what's there to available to us. It also helps us see other sides and consider many points of view. And I think that that's really important because a lot of times when we're talking about economy, as I mentioned before, we're talking about production and consumption. We're talking about use and replenishment. We're talking about the availability of goods and services, and then the demand or the desire to obtain those things. So we as consumers may be on either side of that spectrum at any time, but we also have to understand the business, the individuals, the organizations that are on the opposite side of us, who may have competing needs or goals. And if we're only thinking from our own perspective, we're oftentimes limited. So I kind of like that when I think about, you know, being cultivating our inner Economist is that it helps us be better prepared. It helps us to be more open-minded. And I think it just helps us to have a better life if we so choose to implement things in that manner. So from that point, the next thing that I wanted to talk about, I know, because I know you two very well, I know that each of you, well, before I get into the saving tips, I wanted to talk about America's economy, our economy today, and how things have changed for the standard of living of Americans. So I did find some statistics that I thought I'd share with you and our listening audience. And, you may or may not be aware of some of these things. So just this past December, which, COVID hit March of 2020, so this was towards the end of 2020, last December, 90 million nationwide reported difficulty in paying for usual expenses. 38% of all households, 90 million people nationwide, as I don't want to say post-COVID, because COVID is still alive and well, but after the immediate outbreak, that really had a huge impact on the US economy. And it really changed the standard of living for a lot of people. Another statistic, 9.5% of US adults faced housing insecurity within the past year. 9.5% doesn't sound like huge numbers, but that's a lot of people. When you think how housing is just really just a basic necessity, a need, a place to go, to be warm, to lay your head down, to replenish, to seek comfort, security. And a lot of folks just don't have that anymore. Let's see, half of households lost employment, half of households lost employment income during the pandemic. Wow, that's huge. That really is huge. Occupations within the median wages below the national median lost 8% of their jobs in 2020. Occupations above the median wage lost 3%. So that's the people who needed it most, who have those mid to lower wages, they actually had more job loss, more income loss in the past year and a half than anybody else. Before the pandemic, the middle-class families in the middle 20% of income earners averaged $49,000 in market income from sources including wages, investments, and retirement. $49,000. And that was before the pandemic. So if we're recognizing that the pandemic really had a huge economic impact, what are those folks making now? They have less to live on and perhaps have experienced increased expenses based upon health needs, based upon having lost a job and needing to catch up, based upon seeking, perhaps borrowing at interest at rates that aren't as desirable, especially when they might have credit issues that may now be on their credit reports. So there's a lot of facts about the American economy, and I want to share with you, if you're interested in finding out more, usafacts.org is a wonderful resource that gives a lot of routine statistics and information that really help us who are interested in cultivating that inner economist and learning more about what's going on around us. A lot of times things don't have to, well, a lot of times things have to impact us directly or be in our face, or we need to see it on the news or observe it in real life before it catches our attention. But there's so much going on that we might not be aware of. So I'm encouraging folks to just, eyes wide open. I know that the news is sometimes depressing, but there's really valuable information out there sometimes. To listen and have those conversations with family members, neighbors, loved ones, your coworkers, folks at church, and find out what's going on in their lives. You just never know when someone is in need and not necessarily communicating what's going on. And if you only knew, perhaps that might be the starting place for you to provide some assistance or direct them to some assistance if you've got that information. So, any questions or comments so far? Okay. Now we're ready for the general tips, the money saving ideas. And I've got a whole list that I'm going to send out to you, to any of our TTR Cares connected individuals who are interested. But I want to ask you first, do you have any tried and true money saving tips, big or small, that you think might be helpful or useful to individuals who would tune in and be a part of this cultivating their inner economists?
One of my favorite ones is CVS. The prescription, more than just prescriptions. You can sign up for their extra care card. And then they have this thing where you can pay like $10, but you pay $5. And then like the first of every month, or when you sign up, a month from that date, you get a $10 credit, coupon. And if you can use on anything, you save 20% on all their brands, other brand name products. And then they send you so much stuff like $8 off $40. But one thing that's really nice, if you do like couponing, like on Sundays, where they have those inserts, they send you all kinds of stuff, save, spend $12 on Revlon and save $5, or get money back. And you can stack them. So you can use their personal coupon and the newspaper. So a lot of times my girls and I, we go in and it takes a little planning, but it's so funny. It'll get up to like $70 or something. It's stuff we need, or we can donate. And it's just so funny. Then it gets down to like $20 and then you get $8 back. And, everybody's like, how do you do that? And I'm like, I just, so if anybody's interested, I'd be happy to share. We could do it like one Zoom or something.
That is awesome.
So, yeah.
I think it's wonderful when you spend your money because you're getting something that you need. But when you get those bonuses, those little extra off or extra perks, that's like wonderful. That's a really good, warm, fuzzy feeling. So thanks for sharing that, Nicole.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Cool. Nancy, anything come to mind?
No, let me think what it is. No, it's like I'm looking for ideas.
Okay. Well, I've got, let's see, like I said, a whole list, but I'll run off a few here. They are money saving. Some of them are, avoidance. Treat yourself but use it as an opportunity to save. Match the cost of your non-essential indulgences and savings. So, for example, if you splurge on a smoothie while you're out running errands, make sure to put the same amount of the cost of that smoothie into your savings account. Or, if you got $8 back on your CVS, whatever, and you're like, woo, extra money, put half of it aside for savings and, have fun and enjoy the other half of that. It's a good idea. Let's see. Oh, I like this one. Go through your banking statements, your credit card statements, and find out, are you being auto debited for stuff that, you don't really use anymore? Or you don't use that often, is not as valuable as when you first, set up for it. I have heard from people who pay for a gym membership that they rarely ever use. They signed up for it and it was required to be auto debited. Well, they're not using it. Well, so, does it make you feel good just that you're paying for it, but you're not using it and not getting any healthier, not losing any weight? Nope. Something to get rid of. If you're not using it, discontinue it. For me, it was the Sirius XM radio. Now, before COVID, I traveled a lot. I'm driving back and forth to work every day. I'm on the road on the weekend going places, and I loved that XM radio in my car. Well, COVID hit, I'm home. I'm generally working from home now. I'm not even in my car. I can't tell you how long it goes before I have to put gas in the car. Why am I still having XM radio? So that was something that I could strike off the list, discontinue that auto deduction and save some money from. So it pays. That's a quick way to find some money. Look at your bank statements and credit card statements and find those things that you don't utilize that often. Let's see. Plan your gift giving well in advance. I tell you, a lot of people wait until the last minute, order something online, pay the expedited fees for delivery, and all it takes is a little planning to avoid that. Plan in a way so that your purchases are in bulk and perhaps you qualify for free shipping. Or plan far enough in advance that if you do have shipping costs, you can afford the time that it takes to get there and you don't have to pay for any expedited costs at all. So something to think about. Let's see, food saving tips. Brown bag your lunch. Well, a lot of folks are working from home anymore, so it's very easy to go to the fridge and plan your meals rather than ordering out for food delivery. So that's a way to save money. Just plan your weekly or your routine grocery shopping to accommodate if you are working from home, to make sure that you have enough food supplies to just go to the kitchen and make your own meals. That really saves a lot, because not only are you paying for the food when you're doing the DoorDash delivery, you got to pay the delivery costs as well. And tipping, because that's just, certainly we want to look out for those individuals who are actively employed and out there working hard. And so but a way to save money is to, of course, pre-plan and prepare your meals at home. And if you are still working in the office, get up a little earlier and make that sandwich or make your lunch, put it together, whether you're eating leftovers or go to the pantry, organize a healthy meal and take that into work with you. So another way to to save money there. Drink water. While you're out at the restaurants, I know you might have a taste for something sweet or something flavorful, but water is healthy. It's free. Certainly, it's a standard in the restaurant industry to mark up the cost of alcohol 3 to 5 times. So an easy way to cut down on your restaurant spending without changing your habits too drastically is to skip the beverages, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. Health saving tips. Don't skimp on preventative health care, especially now, especially when our health and wellness are so important, not only for ourselves, but for our family members that rely on us. Routine dental checkups help prevent fillings and root canals and dental crowns, which are much more expensive. Go generic when you have the opportunity, and have those frank discussions with your physician if generic pharmacy prescriptions would work for you. Let your doctor know if you are cost conscious, budget conscious, and ask ahead of time, what they're considering prescribing. What's the cost of that? How it might impact you. So think about those things ahead of time so that you have the financial planning decisions already in your head. Already the wheels are turning and you're more prepared, rather than looking at the sticker shock when you get to the pharmacy and hand over that prescription and like, oh my gosh, I can barely afford this. Can I afford to be healthy? Yes, you can.
I have a question. Do your doctors know how much those prescriptions are when they're issuing them?
I know that the doctors routinely are in contact with the representatives of the pharmaceutical companies. So they may make a general inquiry, but based upon everybody's insurance covers a different amount, they may not know those details. I think that they do have an idea of the tiers, the cost tiers that the drugs fall into, whether they are the name brand and an expensive tier, or whether they are an off brand that may not be as expensive. So I think that you can have that conversation and at least get a general idea, if not a specific idea.
Okay.
Yeah. How many of you audit your home energy use? I know that AES Electric offers that to customers. I don't know if Citizens Energy offers a type of home energy audit or use, but there's an opportunity for, you're paying that bill on a monthly basis. Feel free to pick up the phone and call their customer service numbers and ask them, is that something that you offer? An audit of my my past year's energy use? Can you tell me what periods or times I'm using a lot? Has my consumption increased significantly? Are there ways that you can recommend savings for me and my household? Those are valid questions to ask. And I think that most utilities and service organizations that we routinely utilize would have some money saving or helpful guidelines to share if we just ask. Okay. What do you think? Useful stuff?
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
I know Duke Energy will come out and tell you about your house and what you need to
Oh,
get rid of. I mean, refrigerators that are really old, they really stress those
Yeah.
because those are heavy, heavy electricity users.
And sometimes there's wonderful rebate programs that are available if you are ready to purchase a new, um, more economical, up-to-date
Yep.
version of those energy guzzling refrigerators or anything in your house that might use a lot of energy. There are times that there are rebate programs going on where they will not only offer to come get uh, the old energy guzzling, um, what do you, from your house, but they'll also give you money to add to your wallet or to go towards the purchase of a more energy efficient version. So that's something to consider and look into as well. Yes. Let's see. Have you guys seen the commercial about lowering the temperature on your water heater or lowering the temperature that you wash your laundry in? As far as with certain detergents, they are still just effective without it being hot water, which you know, the energy to heat the water and then the use of the water itself, you have an opportunity to save in both ways. So look into that as well. You might want to consider, you know, I know it's wonderful to step into that warm shower at the perfect temperature that feels great on our skin. But would you be happy with dialing back the temperature, still being able to be comfortable, but saving some money at the same time is something that all of us might want to consider. You can use less water. Install low flow shower heads and faucet aerators to reduce your water usage and help out your water costs. As we approach the fall season and prepare for what I hear will be a cold winter, we want to make sure to weatherproof our home. There's nothing worse than, you know, cranking up the thermostat because we want to feel the heat and having that wonderful heat that we just paid for escape through windowsills and doors and cracks and crevices that we failed to fill or to find or to address. So weatherproofing our home before it gets too cold is another very good way to save money and stop unwanted heat or cooling loss. Let's see. Transportation saving tips. Oh, Bryn would love this. Comparison shop for the auto insurance.
woo.
Before, before renewing your existing auto insurance policy each year, and some people, their policy may go for 3 months or 6 months, not always 12 months. But it's great to check out the rates of competing companies, especially now. Like I mentioned, my auto usage, my miles per year has changed significantly. And this is the perfect time to, you know, say to your auto insurance company, hey, do I get any, do I qualify for any perks, any cuts, any bonuses, any wonderful something? And by the way, I am comparison shopping with other companies and do a comparison apples to apples. And you'd be surprised at what you might find. Let's see. Haha, okay, this is right up my alley. the check multiple sites for low airfares. You want to plan your dream vacation for cheap? Don't rely on a single airline search engine to show you all of its inexpensive rates. Of course not. Rely on that certified travel agent.
I was gonna say, forget all that, skip all that, and go to Miss Dawn.
Check out Spa Travel and let them help you find those low airfares, those hotel discounts, and those resort bargains. Yes, yes, it's out there. So again, I have a very comprehensive list of wonderful savings ideas that I'm looking forward to sharing with you all soon. I hope that you enjoy that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
You are
Christmas.
so welcome. Beyond the money saving tips, I wanted to also share with you 6 essential tips. Oh, I'm sorry. The general money saving tips came from, let me see my resource there, americasaves.org. So if you're interested on staying on top of wonderful ideas, because I'm sure that this list isn't all there is, americasaves.org is a wonderful resource to go to when you're thinking about cultivating your inner economist. Okay, so next we have the 6 essential tips to get through financial hardships. And again, why do we talk about this? We ourselves may not be experiencing financial hardship, but there are people around us that might, and they need help. So if we know that someone is in need of guidance or assistance, or if you just listen and look closely and hear that an issue may be arising, there's an opportunity for you to be a help, a savior, a contributor to good within their lives. So, and as well, we never know when we ourselves may need the information. So here we go. The causes for financial hardship might be personal or family health issues or injury, a long-term reduction or loss of income. A lot of people experience that during the COVID shutdown. Exiting a bad relationship or escaping domestic violence. We've often heard many stories about individuals who left with just their lives intact, just their lives, none of their belongings, no savings, no money, no assets, and have to start over brand new. And there are situations where someone may experience the death of a spouse or partner or a significant individual within their family that was a significant contributor to the household's financial well-being. So it could also be that someone experiencing difficulty right now may have just started their financial wellness journey before getting hit with a life-changing situation that derails their plans. Life is so uncertain and we just don't know. Again, it's wonderful for us to be prepared for our own well-being and prepared to help others. So that being said, facing financial difficulties can be extremely stressful, and it can even affect our physical and mental health and accelerate aging as a result. I'm going to share with you some warning signs of the financial problems. So even if someone doesn't confide in you, this is what's going on with me, there could be these signs that you can observe and kind of figure it out, put the pieces of the puzzle together. Individuals relying on credit to pay for their day-to-day essentials. High or maxed out credit card balances. Resorting to high interest debt like payday loans or cash advances. individuals with no emergency savings or sinking funds, absolutely nothing, no nest, nothing to turn to in cases of emergency. Or constantly paying late or overdraft fees suggests some financial strain as well. Poor credit scores due to late payments and high debt to income ratios. Um, you know, as humans, we like to have stuff. We like to have what we consider our necessities and our needs. And we get into routines of purchasing just because we're used to it. And additionally, when the income changes, when that amount of our pay, or we lose a job, or something impacts us financially, it's not an immediate shift. Well, I can't pay for those things anymore. You're still wanting the stuff that you want to pay for the stuff you want to pay for, and the imbalance is that it's just not there. So not being able to meet minimum payment obligations is another warning sign. And when we can recognize those warning signs, is one of the first steps towards creating a financial plan. Acknowledgement and saying and commitment is the beginning. So how do we get through financial hardships? Number one, adjust your budget and accommodate the changes in your income. Like I said, everybody doesn't immediately make those adjustments or changes based upon the change in their income or their resources. But to recognize it and start making that shift as soon as possible is very important. Your main goal should be to focus on core essentials first, which are food, medicines, safe housing, core utilities, and transportation. By adjusting a budget, you'll find that you're spending in a category that you can, if you're spending in a category that you can do without, then you can cut back on it. And this realization can help move funds over towards more pressing bills. Number two is to communicate with your service providers. I think it's human nature a lot of times for people not to want to admit the change in their income or resources, to not acknowledge it to themselves, to those who are close around them, and certainly not to the individuals that you owe money to. But the last thing that you want is to lose access to those utilities, those core necessities, electricity, internet service, a comfortable and safe shelter. So it's really important to communicate. And surprisingly, those service providers are more understanding, more helpful than we might anticipate them. Surely they do want to get their income, get paid, but they are more likely to work out a plan with an individual that communicates that they need a change in a plan, that they need extended time, that they need some help in paying less for a period of time, and that they can catch up later. So communication is very important. Let's see. Determine what financial hardship programs are being offered. Just I know, during the winter time, there's like Warm Hands, Warm Hearts program that's offered to help people keep their heat on. That is really a life supporting utility. that people need. And there are programs out to help individuals who need those utilities and resources, but can't necessarily pay the full amount right up front. So it's important to find out. There are rent and mortgage assistance programs that are available. There are programs with the auto lenders and credit card companies that can put individuals on a payment plan where they are not, they don't continue to incur the exorbitant late fees and charges accumulating, because all of that does is it's the snowball effect that gets an individual deeper and deeper into debt and unable to come out from under. So it's important to start pursuing what those hardship programs are that you may qualify for as soon as possible, and start talking about it, applying for them, asking the right questions, and finding out, how soon you can get involved in those programs. Also, as I mentioned, it's good to negotiate bills and collections. Sometimes credit card companies and debtors will settle on amounts rather than the whole amount. I'm sure they'd rather get something as opposed to nothing. So with a lot of people, they're terrified at having to deal with debt collectors and collections, and they avoid telephone calls, they avoid the mail. Well, avoidance doesn't make it go away. So the best way to deal with it is to talk, communicate, negotiate, and see if there's an opportunity to reduce the amount of debt, or at least reduce payments in the meantime. Also, you might want to find a side gig for extra income. A lot of individuals have started taking on a second job, starting their own entrepreneurial effort to bring in additional income, providing assistance where needed. And based upon your skill sets, your hobbies, your talents, your time, there's really a lot out there to choose from. So keep in mind that it's okay to work odd jobs to bring in extra cash. You could freelance, you could work from home. And right now, there are a lot of places that are really looking for workers. Restaurants need servers. Gosh, there's just a lot of instances. I guess I don't even know all to roll them off the top of my head right now. But I think that we've all gone into retail shops and noticed that the staff is not at the level that it previously was at restaurants. And while people need help, need workers, there may be an opportunity in an individual who's having financial hardship to cut out some time that they can do a freelance, an extra job, some side hustle to bring in more money. Okay. And number 6 is just don't give up. Financial hardship can arise for a bunch of different reasons, and the good news is that you can recover from it and thrive. So don't be discouraged. Don't give up. If you're working with or talking to a family member, a friend, a neighbor who's experiencing, have compassion. Take the time to help them through the process, to understand that they can rebound. This isn't as tragic as it might feel at the moment. again, there's a lot of emotional and physical impact as well as the financial impact. And empathy and assistance goes a long way. Any questions or comments?
I love how you say, we may not be in a place where we can help them, like monetarily, but I love your tips and just being compassionate and just letting them, talk to you and then and say, oh, now I have an idea, have you thought of this? I learned this from Don and share it with them. But a lot of times they just need somebody to listen. They're not alone. They're not, it's like no judgment. So, because life happens.
It
So,
does. It does. And
yeah,
and we never know when we're going to be in that spot as well.
exactly.
If we could be facing it. And certainly that's what we would love, to have
Yes.
a listening ear and a compassionate heart, someone to help us through the process as well. So that's, what TTR Cares is about. It's not just about ourselves thriving and surviving. It's about making sure that everyone around us has that opportunity to survive and thrive as well.
Yes. Awesome.
Good deal. All right. Beyond that, I don't know if any of you have ideas of what you're going to do to cultivate your own inner economist now with the information that we've talked about and shared today. If there is anything money saving wise that you are going to think about and perhaps implement. If there is anybody that you can think of that you would want to share some money saving ideas or some dealing with financial struggle tips with. And anything come to mind? Anyone?
I love your idea to go through the bank statements and the credit card statements and see, is there something? Because there was something that I found out like a month ago. Somehow Netflix would charge twice. Right? So I'm like, no, not Netflix, not that one. What's the other? Prime. And so I need to call them. I haven't called them. I know it's been a month. But yeah, so need to straighten that out. So I'm like, okay, no, we only one.
Yeah.
Only one. So
we are our own best advocate.
yes.
Certainly there are times when your bank or your service provider will say, hey, we made a mistake. We need to correct this with you and reimburse you. But they don't always identify it themselves. We are our own best advocate to make sure that to check our billing statements, our bank statements, our credit card statements, and make sure that that information is correct. And then again, that communication, we gotta take action and follow up. It might be small amounts, but the longer those small amounts build up and accumulate, that could make a difference. That could be money well spent somewhere else. Okay. Cool. Well, with that,
I like your idea about, okay, if you go out and have like a Starbucks coffee, you put the same amount in your savings account.
Love it.
So that'll make you think twice if you really want it.
Right?
Yeah.
Because knowing it's not going to be $5, it's going to be $10.
Yeah.
But it will help you in the long run.
Yeah. I think people would find when they have that mindset of, I need to save as much as I'm spending or indulging in, further down the line, they start making more effective, more economical decisions about their spending,
Right.
knowing the impacts that it has.
Mhm.
Yeah, is that Dairy Queen ice cream really worth me spending
Well,
that right now? And I could put all of it towards savings and have it for something really neat, really wonderful, really needed later. So,
Right.
yeah.
Very
Good deal.
good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, of course, I cannot end TTR Cares without sharing some nonprofit or community opportunities with you. So I do want to say, I know we talked about some food saving ideas, and this brought to mind the Hancock County, which Hancock is just east of us, I think east of Indianapolis. They need help on Monday nights, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. So they're asking to please consider volunteering an hour or so of your time to help needy Hancock County residents obtain food. There is no long-term commitment. You can volunteer a few times a year or a few times a month. No experience necessary. Other family members are welcome to come with you and volunteer with you. So it makes a wonderful team building event or a family contribution. Do it together. And food really enriches lives. It is one of those sustaining necessities of our human life. So as a result of the downturn of the American economy following COVID, there are a lot of opportunities such as this with food pantries. And I just want to bring that to the attention of individuals as well. And this might be useful information to share. Hunger is hard, and now finding food is easier. Within Marion County, there is something called Community Compass, and it identifies free meal locations, free groceries, food-related events, and information on WIC, SNAP, and other programs. So there are two ways that you can get help. On your smartphone, you can go to the App Store or Google Play and search for Community Compass. You can download and install that and start using it to find food assistance, do chats, have your questions answered, etc. So if you know of anybody in Marion County who needs food assistance, this is a wonderful resource to have handy to share. And if you don't have a smartphone, you can text HI, HI, to 317-434-3758. And that will connect you to the Community Compass as well to find assistance. So let's see. If you've got questions and want to search the internet or send an email, you can visit indiehunger.org/compass. And there are some instructional videos available on the website. So I thought that those were some pretty good resources and volunteer opportunities to share.
Thank you.
thank you.
You are welcome. I want to thank you all for being with me tonight. Having the feedback and the shared experiences really is what makes this whole.
Aw.
So thank you so much for taking your time to be with me. And I will look forward to sharing the video of this TTR Cares so that we can all share a little bit more with everyone else out there and hopefully have positive, wonderful impacts within our lives, our families' lives, and our community. So thanks again,
Yay.
and I'll look
Thank
forward to
you.
seeing you next time on TTR Cares.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Take
Bye.
care.
Thank you so much.
Bye.